What's up, people? I am what you need, and we're about to talk some boxing. And the year now is 2020. Happy New Year to everybody. And let me just move this somewhere where I can actually do shit here. Ooh, it's not a great idea. All right, so it's 2020. What I want to do is talk to you guys. Talk to you guys about some of the duck fighters in various divisions. And some of these fighters that I'm going to talk about are not ducked, but they're not getting the big fights. There is a difference between somebody being ducked and somebody not getting the big fights. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. So let's get into it. When you look at the heavyweight division, you know, a name that pops out that people allegedly think is getting ducked is Dillian White. I can't say that Dillian White's getting ducked. Can't say that. I'm going to tell you why. One, Dillian White faced Anthony Joshua once. But then the second time, he was also offered a fight to face Anthony Joshua not too long ago. And that was a fight that he turned down, and would have been in the UK. And Anthony Joshua ended up going to the US and eventually facing Andy Ruiz after a number of negotiations failed and a number of people were found dirty and all of that shit. But I can say categorically that Dillian White is a guy that's not getting the big fights. Now, he's in line to face Deontay Wilder after the Tyson Fury fight. His fight with Deontay Wilder will happen in 2021. He's been cleared of all charges, so he's cool. But at the end of the day, Dillian White is not a dude who is being ducked. Can't say that. Luis Ortiz is not a dude who's being ducked either. And these guys are getting their fight. So in the heavyweight division, we really got nobody that's being ducked per se. But what we do have is guys who are not getting those big fights that they really are gunning for. Dillian White's been trying to get big fights with Tyson Fury, with Deontay Wilder, with Anthony Joshua, right? But he's not being ducked. Okay? Let's go to, I'm going to skip the cruiserweight division. The light heavyweight division, I don't know nobody being ducked in the light heavyweight division. Honestly speaking. I don't see nobody being ducked in the light heavyweight division. But this is what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you this. There's a guy named Badou Jack in that division. He can't catch a break. Like 4 fights or 5 fights, he has not caught a break. And those were fights he won. But, to be fair, those fights have been close fights. Now, at super middleweight division, At super middleweight division, again, I don't really see guys in that division who are being ducked, right? So I can't really say that anybody in the super middleweight division is being ducked. But in the middleweight division, I can guarantee you, there is a fighter in that division who is being ducked by the entire fucking division, okay? His name is Demetrius Andrade, all right? He is being ducked. And let me just make it abundantly clear so you guys will understand what I'm talking about. Demetrius Andrade is with DAZN. Now, almost all the top-tier fighters that have ducked him are with DAZN. Billy Joe Saunders is with DAZN. Demetrius Andrade tried to make a fight with Billy Joe Saunders this second time around. He is, of course, the WBO super middleweight champion. He don't want no fight with Demetrius Andrade. Now, the first time they did, was making a fight, and then Saunders was found with some a PED sort of like compound in his blood. But nonetheless, Saunders ain't want nothing to do with Andrade right at this point in time. He's not interested. Gennady Golovkin, he was offered to face Demetrius Andrade as well in his beginning of his DAZN contract, and he turned that shit down to face a guy, just a warm-up fight. And he also had the opportunity to face Demetrius Andrade a second time for the WBO title, but instead he chose to go the route of facing Derevyanchenko for the vacant IBF title instead. Canelo Alvarez, also with the DAZN, and he turned down facing Demetrius Andrade for a unification, and he only had one more belt to get. And it cost him a lot. It cost him other belts and stuff because Golden Boy was just dilly-dallying and really just, gollywogging and all that shit. They were stalling, in other words, so that they could keep the IBF belt, but they lost that. Of course, Jamal Charlo was also ducked by Canelo Alvarez, we all know, who became the franchise champion. Jamal Charlo was GG's mandatory, and then it was inherited by Canelo. It became Canelo's mandatory. And he was not faced by either guy, okay? This is what it is. So, but Jamal Charlo's on the other side of the pond, he's PBC, so you can make a case, well, okay, he's a PBC fighter. It might have been harder to make anyway. But when it comes to Demetrius Andrade, he's not a PBC fighter. He's literally with the zone. In fact, he's with the same company that GGG and Billy Joe Saunders work with. Okay? So there was no reason, no logistical business reason why that fight couldn't happen and still can't happen. But he's been ducked by all of them. Billy Joe Saunders, Gennady Golovkin, saw Canelo Alvarez. Danny Jacobs was telling him he's his brother, so he ain't going to face him. That's kind of nonsense. So, I mean, the only guy, and he made an offer to Jamal Charlo recently. Jamal Charlo was talking all kinds of smack about Demetrius Andrade, but at the end of the day, will he take that offer? I don't know. But he's a guy, he not only not getting the big fights, but he is literally being avoided. I can tell you that for a fact. In the super welterweight division, we have a schism with the champions. Of course, Jaime Munguia seemed to be on the other side of the fence, and he wasn't doing no business with the PBC. And so he was a champion, but nobody was calling him out, and he wasn't calling nobody out on the other side. So you can't say he was ducked. Nobody in the division really is ducked or not getting the opportunities they need to get. So things are going pretty well at the super welterweight division. In the welterweight division, Terrence Crawford and Bob Arum claim that they're being ducked. The truth is they're not being ducked, okay? One, they're on the other side of the pond. That is, they're in Top Rank. Top Rank don't do no business with PBC. What I mean by that is you'll never see a Top Rank fighter fighting on the PBC. It just won't happen, okay? You won't see them fighting on Fox. You won't see them fighting on Showtime, all right? You're going to see PBC fighters fighting on Top Rank or fighting on the Zone and doing business with Top Rank, but you're not going to see the other way around. In fact, if you look at Tyson Fury signed with Top Rank, and Deontay Wilder has to come across to ESPN to get the fight with Tyson Fury. And Wilder was like, okay, cool. I don't care, But if you got he was a free agent. If you got a contract that's tied down to Fox, it's going to be a little bit harder, But anyway, the point is that Terrence Crawford, there's a claim that he is being ducked by these guys. He's not being ducked, okay? And the reason I'm saying that is that there's twofold. One is Bob Arum and Al Heyman was actually working the Errol Spence Terrence Crawford fight for 2020. The second thing is that Terrence Crawford is not interested in a fight with Sean Porter. Whether you want to call it friendship or whatever, he's not interested in that fight. So that kind of shoots down, kind of with the Dillian White thing or with the, it kind of shoots down him saying that he's being ducked by anybody. The claims of him being ducked was based on the Danny Garcia proposal that they claimed they threw forward to Danny Garcia. The funny thing about it is, Danny Garcia had a fight already set up with Adrian Granados. So Terrence Crawford threw that offer in when Danny Garcia already had a fight in the works, which didn't make no damn sense. So I don't see how they can claim that Terrence Crawford was ducked by any PBC fighter, because none of them got a problem facing him. At the same time, business-wise and sense-wise, he on the other side of the pond. So they don't really business with guys on the other side of the pond if they want to make all the terms in their favor. And Terrence Crawford, he shouldn't be dictating shit to any of the PBC fighters, because clearly they make more money than he does, one. Two, and they're facing better competition. They're the A side, and he's trying to claim that he's the A side, which doesn't make no damn sense. So anyway, at the end of the day, Terrence Crawford, is not being ducked by anybody. For him to be ducked would mean he would be thirsty for opportunities, and guys like Sean Porter, he wouldn't pass up. Guys like Kell Brook, he wouldn't pass up. He wouldn't care about Kell Brook's status. You're trying to make that fight happen, especially after he faced Amir Khan. I mean, Kell Brook's a much better fighter than Amir Khan. He's much stronger than Amir Khan, much more stable than Amir Khan. If he couldn't make weight, that's his business. So, I mean, none of those excuses make sense to me. In the super lightweight division, nobody's being ducked. In the lightweight division, I'm going to say this categorically, nobody's being ducked right now. Now, what I mean by that is by the whole division. You know, Lomachenko did duck Devin Haney. We all know that. But other than Devin Haney being ducked by Lomachenko, nobody else is being ducked, right? And Devin Haney is not a fighter that's being universally ducked. He's going to get his fights. I don't know if he faked an injury to get out the Javier Fortuna fight, but Fortuna's going to be facing Luke Campbell for his belt while he's in recess. Lomachenko will be facing Teofimo Lopez, so he's not being ducked either. And Lopez wanted to face Lomachenko. Haney wanted to face Lomachenko, but Lomachenko said hell no to Haney. Top Rank said hell no to Haney, and that's what it is. But to say that Haney's being ducked by the division, hell no. In the super featherweight division, nobody's being ducked. People would say Tevin Farr is being ducked. No, Tevin Farr is not being ducked. He's going to face Jojo Diaz, who's the WBA regular champion at this point in time. Sorry, not regular, but he is the WBA interim. So, I mean, he not being ducked, okay? I would say that Gervonta Davis ducked him in the sense that they were setting up for a fight and it didn't happen. But to say that he's been ducked, no, that's not true. And he's going to get other bigger fights. At featherweight division, some people want to say Gary Russell Jr. is being ducked because Leo Santa Cruz was actually right below him. He was the interim champion for the WBC. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that Gary Russell Jr. been in that division at featherweight. Leo Santa Cruz too. They didn't face each other, but to say that the division won't face him, I'm pretty sure Shakur Stevenson will face Gary Russell Jr. very soon. So I can't say that Gary Russell Jr. being ducked. So that's just a couple of divisions there, just to show you fighters who are being ducked and who are not being ducked. Now, Leo Santa Cruz is in the same division, same company as Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell been chasing his ass, trying to make that fight with him, and Leo Santa Cruz been, ducking him. That's for sure. But as to say that the whole division's ducking him, no, that's not true. And so the only guy out of all of these guys I just talked about that really is being ducked, and nobody's really talking about him like that because, once again, they're ducking him. A successful duck is, to not mention the guy's name, is Demetrius Andrade. That's the guy truly being ducked in boxing today. Everybody else is not being ducked, okay? It's a lie that they're proposing. I'm being ducked. No. You ain't being ducked. You try to take advantage of the situation to say you're being ducked. They pulling a Gennady Golovkin on our ass, And then they make stipulations saying, oh, well, this fighter, he want to fight me, yeah. Or this fighter, he's right there available, but I'm not going to call him out and that kind of shit. Which, anytime you got to put stipulations on shit, that means you're being ducked. Demetrius saying ain't got no stipulations on the shit. He just being ducked, okay? He being ducked. It is what it is. By the entire fucking division. Ain't nobody enthusiastic to face Demetrius Andrade. Nobody. It is what it is. So that is the bunch of people who being ducked in boxing today, and it's probably just one or two of them. In fact, when I just went through it, you had only one, which was Demetrius Andrade. He the duck fighter in boxing today. Everybody else is getting the fights they want to get, or they may be ducked by one or two fighters in their division, but they ain't being ducked by the entire division. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace to you guys. I'm what you need. My name is also Handsome Phillip. And you can donate to my channel via Western Union or MoneyGram. Just ask me the details. Love to have you donate to my channel to keep the channel running and stuff. And in addition, you can also like my videos and share my videos if you like it. I'm going to catch you guys later. Deuces and peace.